The 1980s, an era of materialism, consumerism, television, parties, bold fashions, new technologies, and entertainment. Hey there, viewers. My name is Chris Vapor, and I'm the host of Channel None. Here at Channel None, I'll be delving into the 1980s and a look back to a different time in American culture. I'll be your guide on a journey of big hair, sleek cars, late night dancing, bodacious music, giant shopping malls, and real art. What comes to mind when you think of 1980s America? Maybe your first thought is the aesthetic, colorful neon lights of hot pinks and bright blues with bold gradient fonts. Maybe you think of Saturday morning cartoons, waking up early with a bowl of your favorite sugary cereal, glued to the TV to see a new weekly episode of your favorite show. Perhaps you think about horror movies and the rise of the teen scream slasher films. What about technology?
This is an experimental computer system.
Giant phones, new home media, personal computers, and video games.
Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with power.
What about?
This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
And maybe you think of this thing. The decade was packed full of pop culture revolutions, innovations, and historic events. Of course, it wasn't all Cabbage Patch Kids, Lionel Richie, and MTV.
Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll.
The 80s also saw a number of issues. Social,
Here this morning, the AIDS epidemic, said the headlines, is spreading so rapidly that it threatens to overwhelm San Francisco's financial ability to deal with it.
and economic.
Good evening. Today is Black Monday, the day the Dow dropped more than 500 points, the day the Dow dropped more than 22%, almost double the rate of the Black Monday that signaled the beginning of the crash of 1929.
The triumphs,
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
and the tragedies.
You saw it just a few moments ago, about 45 seconds after liftoff, a huge fireball in the sky.
We have a report from the flight dynamics officer that the vehicle has exploded. Flight director confirms that. We are looking at checking with the recovery forces to see what can be done at this point.
My aim here at Channel None is to recap America in the 80s and give a glimpse back into the history-defining period of time, while informing you, the viewers, of the cultural impacts from the decade. For some of you, this will be a nostalgic reminder of your youth. What you saw in theaters and at home on TV, what you did in your spare time, the important events you lived through, and the tough times that impacted your lives.
Gang violence killed nearly 400 people here last year.
For many of you, me included, this will be a look into what you missed before you were born. The culture of amped up concerts, rad parties, fresh threads, bitchin' rides, fab shopping, and bogus policies. From what was hot, what was not, what was hip, what was hop, the who's who, the what's new, the hair, the flair, the footwear, Reaganomics and hooked on phonics, the ads, the fads, the shoulder pads, and everything else that made up the era. So join me, Chris Vapor, on a journey back into the 1980s. Like and subscribe to Channel None, and hit that bell notification so you won't miss a single totally righteous video. And don't forget to tune in yesterday.